Hey, my name's Alec, this is Drew Dice, and today we're gonna kick back, we're gonna relax, and get stoned, because we're working with Terra-Form. Let's get started. So what exactly is Terra-Form? Well, at the end of the day, it's a two-part mineral powder mixture where it's got the mineral powder itself and then a liquid acrylic binder. Now, the really cool thing about Terra-Form is, unlike concrete or jasper casting, you don't have the issue of it being too thick to cast under pressure. So we can put these in our dice molds and then pressurize them to smash down those air bubbles, and it stays liquid enough before curing that it'll actually remove those bubbles and surface defects, just like it would with resin. So we get the benefit of a mineral, stone-like dice effect without having to worry about big holes or voids like you would with traditional mineral compounds. One of the cool things about Terra-Form is it's not resin, which means we don't have to use traditional resin pigments. We can get away with using just about anything. Now, we're going to be using water-based acrylic pigments in the form of miniature paints. So we're going to go with a warm color hue and see what works best between the acrylic paints, traditional resin pigment, and mica powder. We've got our mixing cup set up, ready to accept. We've got our Terra-Form activator here, and we're going to follow the directions that state a 2.5 to 1 ratio, where you want 2.5 the amount of powder to the fluid. And I'm going to give us a little extra. So that puts us at, let's see, that's 39. Let's go ahead and do 40. And these ratios are a little adjustable, a little variable, because you can increase or decrease to get a thicker or thinner consistency. So it advises that we add our colorants before we mix into the powders. So essentially we want to color the activator and then add the powder. So we're going to go ahead and do that here now. First things first, so we want to go ahead and get this right up to 20, since that's half of our 40. All right, now that we've got all of our activator weighed out, we're going to go ahead and get our powder weighed out. So we're working with 20 grams of activator. So that means we need a 2.5 ratio of powder. So our total that we're going to need is going to be 50 grams of powder. Which is perfect, because my little totally not illicit material scale style scientific scale there we go. So we're going to get 6 of these prepped to match our 6 color cups. All right, so we are going to follow instructions. It says to mix the activator with the color. I'm going to go ahead and give our first color here. Nice scarlet blood red. Mix it up real well and give a nice little healthy dollop into that. Nice. Nice, it's a nice red there, I like that. So we'll go ahead and set that aside, grab the next color. Right. And I'm gonna go ahead and not leave the popsicle stick totally chilling, just because, My only fear is that the popsicle stick is going to wick it. Ooh, okay. So make sure we get that. Look at that, red and orange. That's gonna look awesome together. 10 out of 10, can recommend. Next up, we'll do our orange and yellow pigments. Now, I'm noticing with this, it's not mixing in. Let's do this. I'm gonna grab some alcohol ink. So I've got our Ranger alcohol inks here. We're gonna give that a try. So this is the orange. Now we're still gonna have the speckles, but let's see if this fares better. It does not like this activator. So 10 out of 10, cannot recommend. Let's do some good old-fashioned mica powder next, eh? So this is a pure, just neutral red mica. But go ahead and add a nice healthy amount of this. We'll see how she goes. I think especially once we start incorporating the powder portion, we should really see it combine a bit better. Because I assume the ultrafine portion of the powder is going to help with breaking up this mixture. Okay, and this is our in-house Tiger Lily. I like the Tiger Lily because it is a really nice orange, but it still has some good sparkle to it. See, now this one's not clumping up hardly at all. And I think that might be down to the fact that our in-house micas are ultra fine. Right here, A versus B, that red here is still speckled where this orange isn't at all. And this orange, ironically, is pretty red with the way it shows through with this white backing. I'm gonna add some more healthy dollops because I really want to make sure the color comes through. So far, water-based acrylic miniature paints, they've got my heart. Resin pigments, not looking so hot, but we'll see. And last but not least, we have our mica powders. Like I said, these are the reds, these are the oranges. These guys just kind of like a little tint of orangey red, almost like pink on the micas, which is crazy. So let's go ahead and mix these up with the activator and see what we get. So I'm gonna go powder into the activator because I want to make sure I'm getting as much as that activator mixed in as possible. So we're just going to keep mixing this up real well, make sure we're thoroughly mixed. Now, one thing I am doing is all of these dice will be in what other than the Norse font, that nice Nordic. I mean, we're making stone dice, that's only fitting, right? Get some magic Norse stones going. Okay, that's good. Gonna set that aside. Now it's time for the red. like if pudding and Play-Doh had a baby. That's what this is. Now this has a 20 to 40 dry time and a 10 to 20 pot life based on the directions at this ratio. So let's go ahead and pop our first mold here. And we're just gonna go for a nice old-fashioned kind of dirty pour combo. The yellow just looks like mustard to me. That's all I can see is my ketchup and mustard. Oh no. When your lava turns into ketchup and mustard. Number 2. Because now we've got a clock. So now we need to start being mindful of our time restriction. All right, time for number 3. Since this is so much thicker, I'm just gonna go ahead and dollop this guy in. Then we'll pour in an unaltered one of the other one. I just want to make sure it really gets in there and it's filling this up. Each die kind of a little poke and prod. Try to help it along. Behold my tower of smoosh. Look upon our beautiful cake. Look at it. No, but really, this is pretty awesome. This is why I love Terra-Form. Gaze upon its glory. All right, first things first. These little Terra-Form chips are awesome, and I'm gonna see if I can do anything with them. Crush them up or something. First one was our alcohol inks. Da-na-na-na-na-na. That's really cool. Ah! Okay, so can't quite flex it the same as regular resin. Oh, this is cool. It's like urban camo colors because the yellow really turned more peachy. Ah, but look at that, look at that. All right, let's get these all popped and take a look at the set. Oh, these are awesome. So this is alcohol inks. So just as a little refresher, these were the colors we used, the orange and the yellow. The yellow was really subtle, and I was worried about getting splotchiness. Now, if you remember with the alcohol inks, it got super thick, that orange, after I added it. So this is definitely something I would add the colorant after, not before. But this set came out absolutely awesome. Super pleased. So I'm gonna set this guy aside. Let's pop the next one. Layer on our cake number 2. Ugh. So this was the mica. Oh wow, okay. So awesome. It's so paper thin still though, like. Now Terra-Form says that this should be polishable just like a traditional resin. We're gonna take this to the polishing wheel and see what we get. It just feels so good because there's they're stone, so they got just such great weight to them. Red and orange mica. That really just turned out more of a peachy orange. And last but not least, our red and orange miniature paint from Vallejo for the last layer of our cake. Here we go. Oh yeah. Ah! How do you get your flashing off? I just spank it. All right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's awesome. These are pretty fantabulous. It's also super easy to demold because it doesn't cling to the numbers like resin does. So like I said, the only downside is you can see all the little flakes that we're gonna have to clean up with this mold. That's okay. I feel it's a fair trade-off, or you could just have some specific stone sets, but look at this. Look at this. Okay, I think this is the set we're going to get cleaned up and inked for you guys, because honestly, out of the three, this is the vibe I was going for, that like fire, lava. This is like a really cool like creamsicle vibe. And this is just like a really nice pastel orange red. I am loving these, for real. Like, the weight of them is just awesome. The process is so much more user-friendly than working with the resin, since you don't have to worry about fumes or, spilling caustic chemicals. It's just, I like this. And the fact that you can put them into the pressure pot to remove bubbles, like, I don't have any surface bubbles. You saw when I popped the molds. The only flaws I see in here are one or two little pockets on a couple of the dice edges. And I think that just comes down to it being a thicker consistency. Like they said in their instructions, we could add a little bit more activator to thin it out, so that way it'd probably flow a little better into those sharp edge corners. But to be perfectly honest, I like the little imperfections. I mean, they're stone. They're supposed to be naturalistic. Like, they're not supposed to be perfect. Those little flaws make it even better. Let's get this Vallejo color, the acrylic ink version, cleaned up and get you those beautiful B-roll shots. We have our pottery wheel set up with our green Zona paper. I've got water to the side here, and then all of our dice and microfiber. You can see this is that edge that we're needing to remove. This guy right here. Now you could definitely do this by hand, but I'm going to go ahead and use the wheel since we have that tool available. The only thing it does is save a little bit of time and wear and tear on my wrist. Gonna go a little bit at a time. Oh wow, that comes off super easy. Okay. Yeah, that's like no time on the wheel, and you can already see that flashing has already been completely knocked away. That's awesome. Okay. So, definitely want to go slow and steady. Ah!
Firmly grasp it in your hand.
Alright, so let's... because I don't want to over sand it. Wow, that's crazy.
Firmly grasp it.
Man, this stuff really bites the wheel hard. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It's stone. I don't want to go any more. I'm going to end up removing that one face, so I think we're good there. So let's take a look at this D8. So same thing, we've got this flashing edge here. Man, this is the easiest stuff to polish in the world. I'm shocked. I really expected it to be more difficult, but it polishes great. I think for the D4, I'm just going to facet the edges. It really is just give it a quick little tap and it's good. Yeah, I would recommend hand polishing this for sure. The chances of over sanding are extremely high. I can tell. I'm having to make sure and be super careful to not over sand.
Firmly grasp it!
So I've decided to hit every face with the green to make it a little bit more rougher, just to really sell that stone vibe. But these do hold a polish really nice, so if you would prefer them to be a really highly polished shine, if that's the vibe you're going for, then you totally could do that. All right. So we've got these all flashing removed and cleaned up. Giving that kiss with the green on every face. So let's get these cleaned up and inked. So we've got our dice here and they are looking awesome. Loving it. And we're gonna go ahead and get these inked up. We're gonna use the same fiery scarlet blood red, but we're gonna mix in a little bit of this metallic folk art to give it a little bit more shine and deepen it. And that should give us a nice dark tone. See, it's got that metallic bronzy color to it. So that's gonna give us a little bit of darkness, and we're just gonna mix in a little bit of our original red. Mix that together to get a nice darker red. I feel like this needs a touch of black to really just push it on the dark a bit more. Ooh, there we go. All right. I like it, but I feel like it's not red enough. I think that's gonna be the moneymaker right there.
It did seem to bleed a little bit. You can definitely tell. We're gonna clean these up with the prep pad and see if that takes care of it. If not, we might have to do another light sanding pass to remove the bleed. But I'm torn because I kind of like it. So we'll have to see. I'd say it's removing a little bit, but not a ton. But you know, I like it. I'm a fan. It's removing enough, but it's porous, so it's staying a little bit around the numbers, almost giving them like a shadow effect, if you will. And there we go. Remove 90% of that bleed. Still a little bit there on some of these dice, but you know what? I love the shadow effect. So it got rid of the unnecessary and misplaced effect. I have to be honest, I'm in love with Terra-Form. Being able to make stone dice just from my mind, not having to worry about polishing and honing them or getting special cuts of rocks or gems in order to make it, is just awesome. Being able to be like, you know what? I want some green rocks today, and boom, you've got it. The fact that it has a quick turnaround time, 2 hours and these things are ready to demold. I've done multiple sets off camera, and so far it's pretty consistently about 2 to 3 hours. Now I have played with the ratio a little bit, and the more activator you put in, the longer the cure time, it seems. And that makes sense because it's kind of like, I guess, when it comes to adding water to something, it's gonna dilute it down a little bit and take a little longer to make effect. So at the end of the day, for us in the dice making world, I don't think there's a better product when it comes to making actual stone dice. Now for the drawbacks of it, like I said, it's not translucent. You need to extend the activator in order to make sure you're able to reduce those bubbles. And it seems really temperamental with non-water-based pigments. So if you're working with acrylics or pastes or inks, that seems to work out just fine. But powders and other suspension type things meant for resin or stains for wood, I've had some issues with. I'd like to go into more depth with this in a future video, and if that's something you guys are interested in, definitely let me know. As of today, if you want to win this volcano set, go ahead and leave a comment down below what type of stone dice you'd like to make. We'll pick a winner, and next video we'll have that announced. As always, happy dice making.